Ama Mazama is an associate professor in the Department of African American Studies at Temple University. She joins me from Philadelphia. Ama, really appreciate your time. We've been talking about this issue of systemic racism in the U.S. How has it been allowed to continue like this for so long? I mean, what are the root causes of this?
Well, first, thank you for having me. I honestly believe that this is ongoing situation that has its roots really in white racism and the white desire to dominate and oppress people of color in general and black people in particular. If you think about how the United States was built, first it was built on the genocide, the annihilation of the indigenous people, then the enslavement of African people, and then the annexation of 2/3 of Mexican land, basically the grabbing of the land that belonged to another people. So the United States was born with 3 major birth defects to begin with, and those birth defects have never been healed, attended to. The whole country is built on white racial domination and white racism, and everything in place, every institution is there to ensure that white people, remain dominant at any cost.
We have now, in the last hour or so, actually heard from the governor of Minnesota himself, a white man, saying systemic racism must be fixed. However, that is contradictory, though, to what we've heard from some of the officials in the Trump administration who say there's no systemic racism in the U.S. So whose responsibility is it to try and bring about that type of change in America?
This is a very good question. I honestly don't believe that change will ever be possible as long as we will have white racism as this ideology of, white superiority and black inferiority. We had white racism when we had a black president. Whose responsibility it is? I really believe that it is white people's responsibility, not just the president, but a collective white population to really ask themselves, why do they have so much hatred for black people? Because, we can be upset about what we saw, the way that George Floyd was murdered, it was horrible. But the white cop who killed him, his ancestors had done much worse things. Black people have been burnt alive, had been, boiled in big, pots, and have been made to dig holes to be buried, and our head would be out covered with honey and sugar so that, flies and bees could kill us slowly. We've been castrated, lynched, and so on and so forth, and raped. So this is not new. This is not new. There's a long history of this. And again, these white cops' ancestors had been engaged in things just as atrocious, if not even more. So it's for me, the onus really is on white people. They have to look at their culture. They have to look at their psyche. They have to stop being hypocritical. They have to stop denying the truth. Which is that the United States is a very racist country to its core. And, a few measures here and there, a few apologies here and there, this is not going to fix the problem. The problem is white men and white women.
Yeah, a lot of acknowledgement and introspection that needs to be done there. Ama Mazama, live to us from Philadelphia. Really appreciate your take on this.